Good afternoon, YouTube. I'm Chucky2009, and we're looking at the back of the little international tractor I bought to help me move some stuff around the shop and take care of some property I'm trying to buy. But anyway, what we have here is the top of the top link, which is just, you know, part of the 3-point hitch where you attach just about anything you want. And so there's different classes of these things. This tractor has a category 1 hitch, and there's also like categories 2 and 3 and 0 and I think some other ones. But that means we have to use a pin this style to keep this this top link on here. But the problem is, it's kind of weird because this side of this casting here is the right size. This one is not. This one's like way off. And there's probably a reason for that. I don't really know what it is, but I do know that I don't want to be having this going on as I'm trying to use this thing. So we're going to make a custom bushing for this. Sweet! I like it. It fits like a glove. Alright, so the paint on that bushing is drying, and I figured now would be a good time to get started on this throttle handle. As you can see, it looks like there was something here before, but it trapped a lot of moisture, and now this is all pitted and nasty. So that's not good, but we'll just try and build this over it. And I think I want this to start about there and end out here ways, so that way you can have your hand outside the steering wheel and grab this thing as opposed to kind of having to reach under it like you do now. So yeah, let's just make this stop right about here. Pretty good. Now the bit I chose was about 20 thousandths larger than the non-rusted part of this right here. I micrometered it. And we do have a little bit of play here, but I'm going to epoxy this thing on here. I'll probably JB weld it actually, and once this thing is on, it is never coming off. So I'm going to say that's pretty good. Alright YouTube, so this is the finished product. Unfortunately I had to shave down a little bit of this side here, but we made it work, and this thing now fits in here with a tiny fraction of the play that was there, and this pin side to side, there's that instead of like there was. So I gotta be honest, I'm pretty pleased with how that came out. I think that's the most complicated bushing I've ever made, which isn't saying a whole lot, but yeah, it works. I can't really complain. And of course we got our throttle handle in place, and it's currently drying. I stuffed the inside of that hole full of epoxy and rammed it on there and twisted it around a bunch of times to make sure it got all nice and worked in. So once that dries, I don't think it's going to be going anywhere. And I guess that's wrapped up too. I gotta tell you guys, I was really thrilled with how this part of the project went, and I can't really complain about anything. And yeah, this is the kind of cool little project that I enjoy making, and it's one way to get experience running a lathe. Now this is just like a little vent out the top of the engine, and this is what was covering it when I got the tractor. It's just like a PVC pipe cap that someone drilled some holes in, and so we got that. And I realized I probably wanted to replace this because, you know, every time it rains, then you know, some water goes down in there, and actually because of that I'm going to change the oil in this beast too in the next couple days. And so I picked up this this cheapy little breather cap thing from the local Tractor Supply, and it's way too big, and it's supposed to have these little spring deals which like push out against the insides of the pipe. You know, you got one on each side, and they broke, as you can see, and I thought about taking it back, but then I realized that might not be the best system in the first place, and this little PVC cap actually fits on here about perfectly. So I think what I'm gonna do is just toss this PVC thing on the lathe real quick and hack off the face of it here, and then I'll have something with chamfered sides. I'll just chamfer them with a file or something. I can shove that in here, and then I'll just epoxy it in place or something, and then it should fit pretty well. Alright, so that's what we just turned, and that is with the breather cap on there. So I think it looks pretty much perfect. I just have to epoxy that in place now. So overnight the epoxy dried, and I went ahead and installed our breather cap on the on the end of that tube, and it fit perfectly just how it should have. It doesn't seem to be going anywhere, and I really like it. I'm probably going to spray paint it so it's not half galvanized colored and half white, because that does look a little weird. But regardless, instead of buying a proper breather cap for this thing, I spent like $7 on that that cheapy one, and epoxied it with some epoxy that I had laying around. And I gotta tell you guys, I think everything turned out really well. I really like that throttle knob. That's probably my favorite out of everything we made. And thanks for watching, everybody.